Hey guys, so today we are going to talk about hope molecules. I'm sure you're probably wondering what the heck is a hope molecule. Well, when it comes to physical activity or exercise, it is very much known and experienced by a lot of people that, it can change your mood. And so for me personally, I have this saying that, and a lot of people have used this before, but it's, you're only one workout away from a good mood. And whenever I heard about this so-called hope molecule, it was from a video that I saw online, and it was an interview of a woman talking about the relationship, or I guess the connection of physical activity and depression or mood disorders. And what she was discussing was an actual paper that was written and published in a journal that talked about how depression and physical activity can help people with mood disorders. And it was because of this one specific protein molecule that you secrete whenever you are doing physical activity. And so the paper starts off, let me just read where it was published first so you guys know. I will actually post the link to the actual study, the letter that was published, so you can see it. But it was published on the Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation Journal. The name of the article is "A Special Regenerative Rehabilitation and Genomics Letter. Is There a Hope Molecule?" Written by Christy Phillips and Ahmad Salihi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, it was published in April 2016. So they start the letter off with talking about, directly or indirectly, it costs the U.S. annually $44 billion to treat mood disorders and depression. $44 billion. That is astronomical. So that what that tells you is that a lot of people struggle with depression. Even people that you wouldn't think would struggle with depression, they may be going about their day like they're normal and hiding it very well. I know for me personally, I've experienced bouts of depression, not necessarily super extreme, but I know that it can come on very quickly depending on what's going on in your life. This down mood, this depressive state can happen just like that, especially, and you don't even expect it, and then you don't even realize that you're in it until you're in the weeds. And so, with the amount of money that people use on, therapy and medicines annually, to treat this, I feel like there should be more science backing the effects of physical activity and how it can improve someone's mood. And so this letter, I don't know how many other journals are out there that may be, discussing this or testing this, but it's kind of encouraging that this one actually took the time to actually, see if there's, the science that can back something like this, because that in a way, not only would it help improve people's quality of life, but it would give them some control back whenever, I know a lot of people that suffer in depression, they feel that lack of control or that lack of direction or a lack of solution, where they're dependent on medicines, they're dependent on therapy, which all are very valid ways to treat it. It's just like this gives you another tool in your toolbox, another piece of hope. Hope molecule. So I'll read this verbatim just so you kind of know. So physical exercise has been suggested as a promising means of complementary care for treatment of depression. So it's not solely meant to cure it, not what I'm saying here. But so with this study that they decided to test how exercise can, contribute to treatment of it or help, they studied it in mice. And now they didn't do this with humans yet, but of course that has, that can be done, later on, I guess, if people want to try to take the time to do it. Well, anyway, so basically what they did was they had 2 sets of mice. One set had, they gave an excess of this protein molecule, so the PGC-1a. They gave them an excess of it, and they tested, certain scenarios where they would stress them out, and how would they handle surviving what they were putting them through. Then they had another set of mice that had lower levels, or either average, or for whatever the mice is, they didn't give them any extra. And they also put them through the same test. What they found is that the mice that had the higher levels of this protein molecule actually tried harder, solved the problem, tried to survive, basically dug themselves out of the hole that they were in. While the other mice that were have low levels of this protein molecule basically gave up. They quit trying, and they said they gave up hope. So that's kind of where they got the hope molecule name of it, or nickname. And so the bigger question is, like, does this actually work in humans? Well, like I said, this wasn't tested on humans yet, but they did have another meta-analysis study. So like a randomized trials of people, it was 9 studies total that they got this collection of data of 2,326 participants. They were all included in this review. The authors reported that exercise produced the effects comparable to treatment by either antidepressive medications or psychotherapy. So it's basically saying that they had this group of people that, of course, had depression or mood disorders, and they tried to use physical activity as another way to treat it, and they saw improvement. So it suggests that it can help, and it could be related to the excretion of this protein molecule that actually happens whenever you exercise. Now, as far as what type of exercise actually, creates more of it, it hasn't really been tested, but they just know that any type of exercise will facilitate this excretion of the molecule. So really, when it comes down to it, we always talk about creating the movement as a habit. You want to create a pattern within your day that you're always moving, or, doing some kind of activity that helps you get things moving. I know for me, personally, my experience, whenever I don't do exercise for several days. So for example, past weekends, like here lately, I've been kind of slothy. Like I've just been kind of like, maybe I don't work out on Friday because of my schedule or something like that. And then maybe I don't work out on Saturday because I just want to sit on the couch and drink my coffee and not really think about anything and be really, lazy. And then Sundays is just like the national lazy day. So that's 3 days in a row that I didn't move. And I always find that whenever I am too slothy and do not move much in consecutive days, like that Monday, I don't want to work out. Like my motivation is gone. I don't want to be productive. I don't want to do anything. So I really feel like there is something to this. Now, I'm not a scientist or a doctor or anything like that to really elaborate on, anything about details about this. But I know from my own personal experience and my own coaching experience with people, if you take the time to move your body in the way that it was designed to do, like we were not designed to stay stagnant. We were designed to move about our world and, do actions, do productive things, create things, make a life. We were not meant to be stagnant and sit all the time. I know when people start moving more, they start feeling better about themselves. And it also facilitates them making better decisions about their eating habits. Because whenever you work out, Now, not all the time. Whenever you work out or you're on a routine of working out, you don't necessarily want to feel like crap when you do it, because what you eat is going to affect what your workout is and how you perform. So that's a big factor in why certain people make eating habit decisions. You know, I know that it's the same for me, is that I'm going to try to, if I'm going to work out, I want it to be to feel as good as I can and energized as I can. So I'm going to make decisions the day before and even after my workout to help that next time I'm going to exercise or need to do something physically active. So it's all connected in the way that everything affects one another. So if you don't move and you're stagnant, it does not keep you in a good mood or motivated to do productive things and be a productive human. And then you're also more inclined to make poorer eating decisions because you're in a bad mood. Okay, so flip that around, you start exercising and moving, and like I said, you're only one workout away from a good mood, you're probably going to be in a better headspace to make better eating decisions. So I love this letter about hope molecules. I think people can take this and, you know, expand on it. I would love to see more studies about exercise and the effects of their mood and how it affects people's mood. Because this in this letter, they did have a little diagram of what this role of that protein molecule has throughout your body. Like it says it has... it is a vital role in the maintenance of your metabolic, your skeletal muscle, and your cognitive functions. So pretty much everything that matters, this protein molecule has a role in. And so why wouldn't we want to increase our metabolic rate, help our body burn energy more efficiently? Why wouldn't we want to create better muscle tone, better, more skeletal muscle, so we age slower and more gracefully, and we are a capable body? Why wouldn't we want to have the most brain power and cognitive function throughout every single day? So you see, it's all a circle. Like everything affects the other thing down the chain. If we can just be a little bit better, where we're creating the habit of exercising a little each day or doing something. It doesn't have to be something crazy. It can be walking. I went walking yesterday because my body was sore and I was mentally tired, but I did do an activity. You can be gardening. You can go on a bike ride with your kids. It can be something, but it's just an appointment with yourself. It is a habit that you are trying to instill in your daily routine, that at some point you want to get to where if you don't do something active, you realize how much it affects you and how it affects your mood and the way that you run your life. So I will post the link to this letter, this journal that was published. And it's a really easy to read. It's not super sciencey or anything like that, and it's pretty short. It's nothing crazy, but it's very encouraging that people are starting to take notice of how exercise can affect or play into more things other than just what you physically look like. So I hope people take notice and they start listening, and I hope we see more science behind it. Okay? All right. Talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.